And here with me is meteorologist Taylor King. So this looks like something that is actually outside of our studio.
Yeah, I do believe that Anthony Mitchell got this footage from our own weather deck upstairs. So thank you, Anthony, for that. And that is quite a decent bit of snow and lack of visibility out there. Though, if you look over in Wayne, Nebraska, using the Wayne State College camera, you're seeing that visibility has cleared up, but we are still seeing some overcast skies over there. Can also still see some dusting on the ground, even though they didn't get that much snow. Temperatures right now hanging out in the mid-20s here in Sioux City. Winds out of the north-northeast at about 11 miles an hour. Seeing humidity at 92% with that dew point at 24. So it does call into the concern of fog during the overnight hours. Now let's take a quick glance at our snow totals that have been reported. We did see 9.4 inches of snow up in Canton, South Dakota. So keep in mind, this is additional snow that what we have already seen. So for example, here in Sioux City, we already had about 2 inches of snow on the ground. Today, we saw an additional 3.1 inches. So that means there's about 5 inches of snow on the ground at this current moment. But continuing on, Orange City saw 6.1. Sioux Falls saw 4.9. Sioux Center saw 4.3. Again, here in Sioux City, we saw just over 3 inches. Tyndall, South Dakota, saw 2.8. Carroll, Iowa, slightly below that, 2.7. And Ida Grove at a solid 2 inches. Now, switching over to our temperatures, like I said, currently we are hanging out in those mid-20s, seeing lots of 20s across the board, 18 up in Canton and 16 up in Sioux Falls. We're going to continue to see these temperatures drop as the overnight hours continue, with our highs being lower than what we're seeing with our temperatures right now for tomorrow. Wind speeds at the current moment, mainly northerly at this current moment, between 10 to 15 miles an hour with gusts upwards of 20. So again, a little bit breezy out there, which is partly why we're seeing those winter storm alerts continue until midnight. So taking a quick glance at the past 12 hours, you can see that that system is making its way off towards the eastern portion of Iowa. Seeing it right here where those heavier snow bands are. They have since moved out of Siouxland. Some areas in the far eastern portions are still seeing a light dusting at the current moment. Now, switching over to our stormcast, you're going to see a continuation of some cloud coverage into our Sunday. And then here we go, another round of snow moving in. Again, not looking like much at the current moment, just like a light dusting that'll be during the overnight hours. And then that'll quickly move off before we get into Monday morning, where we're going to be seeing another round of some heavier cloud coverage. Going to see a brief clearing before we see another round of some clouds start to move in during the overnight hours into our Tuesday. So to kind of summarize everything all up, still going to continue to see some scattered flurries and that blowing snow during the overnight hours. Temperatures dropping to about 5 degrees here in Sioux City. Switching over to temperatures tomorrow, hanging out around 15 degrees, scattered snow mainly during the overnight hours, and like I said, on the colder side. Switching to the 9 on 9, we're going to be seeing, like I said, the heavier cloud coverage for Monday and Tuesday, kind of ebbing and flowing between the mostly cloudy to partly cloudy skies, warming up on Tuesday to above average temperatures to the 40s before we see the floor bottom out once again with another round of snow Wednesday night into Thursday. Currently not seeing much for accumulation, though we will be keeping you posted. And then the floor continues to bottom out as we go into the weekend, seeing highs in the low teens and upper single digits, lows reaching into the negatives once again before we warm up going into the start of next week at the end of the 9 on 9. So looking like we're going to be seeing a little bit of a seesaw by the end of the week for the temperatures, but overall going to be below average.
Perfect. Well, thank you, Taylor.